Do you like my tree? I decorated it myself. I have the scratches to prove it. Today I'm going to be offering you 3 tips on how to maintain the control of your mealtime, but also giving your child a little bit of control to go along with it. Tip number 1 is to have options of choices underneath the umbrella. For example, if that umbrella is try everything on your plate, then you got to find some options underneath that. So what I would do is, say for example you're having potatoes and green beans, you can tell your child, would you like to try your mashed potatoes or your green beans first? The strategy behind this is to give your child a little bit more control in what's going on in their environment so that they feel more secure and more like they're making the decisions that affect the outcome. When in reality, they are living under your expectations. Tip number 2, say it once and then act. What I mean here is set the expectations, make sure that they're paying attention when you do set those expectations, and then just expect them to follow through with it. When they don't, there's a consequence. So for example, if I tell my daughter that she needs to eat her green beans and she does not, I have to put the green bean on the fork and I will hold it there in front of her until she takes her first bite. I'm not shoving it in her face. I am not forcing it into her mouth, because that's a place where we don't want to go that is going to make mealtimes uncomfortable and frustrating. But my daughter knows that there's a rule that until you are done eating, you cannot leave the table. So if your child hasn't reached that point yet, maybe that's the first thing that you want to focus on. But set the guideline first and just maintain the expectation. You don't have to repeat yourself. If you repeat yourself, you're just going to start fighting a losing battle. So have a consequence ready. And if you make a mistake and you aren't backing up the expectations that you're setting forward, it's okay. Recollect after that incident and find a suitable consequence, hopefully a natural consequence, and follow up with it at the next dinner or lunchtime at the table. Tip number 3 is a subtle compromise. Now, this does not mean a verbal compromise. Verbal compromises can lead you straight into a negotiation that is just going to wind up giving your child the ability to negotiate further than you want them to go. What I mean by a compromise is if you're trying to get them to try the green beans, then you hold your ground, and then they lean forward and they do a tiny bite. If it's been an extremely frustrating experience, it's okay to accept that, because the biggest concern is that you don't want to create a table time frustration that's going to reflect in your progress. So if it's starting to get negative or frustrating for either you or your child to the point where it's going to start backtracking you, compromising is okay, but compromise on the act, not verbally. If these tips were helpful for you, let me know. I would love to hear about them in the comments. Question of the day: did your child try something new at the Thanksgiving holiday if you are in the US and celebrate that day? If not, has your child tried something new within the past month? I would love to hear about it. Leave it in the comments below. That's your Playful Bite for today. I will see you on Wednesday for our next activity.